For Unit 1, Day 4 notes, we're going to solve equations with variables on both sides. It says here in the directions to solve and then round your answer to the nearest hundredth if necessary. So only on a few of these will we have to do that. So on the first one, we see that on the left side, there's nothing to combine. And on the right side of the equation, there's also nothing you can combine. So when you have variables on both sides, you're going to want to subtract that 2x to both sides. This gives me 3x equals, and I bring down the 21. Now, to get the x by itself, the last step would be to divide, and in this case, I would absolutely do that, so that would give me 7. Now, on the front of the classroom, I have a poster that has your 5 steps to solve an equation. So I'm going to leave this here on the side for us to refer to. So I go through each step. Can I clear a fraction? No fraction. Can I distribute? No, I don't have parentheses. Can I combine like terms on the same side? So no, those can't combine, and no, those can't combine. So then I have to add or subtract something. Okay, so I see I have the variable and a variable. I want to move the variable, the negative 2x, to the other side, making it a positive 2x. So here that makes a 0. I cancel it out. And I would get 10x minus 5 equals 15. Okay, well now we're back to a two-step equation. So I'm going to add 5, get 10x equals 20. I'm going to divide by 10, and x would equal 2. For letter C, again, we're going to go through the 5 steps. So here, can I clear a fraction? No. Can I distribute? No, I don't have parentheses. Can I combine like terms on the same side? So I look here. I cannot combine. Here, I can combine. I can combine these two x's. So 9x minus 4, and then 12 minus 3 would give me 9x plus 5. Okay, now if I add or subtract, draw my line here, I'm going to subtract that 9x to the 9x. Get those x's together next. Well, 9 minus 9 makes 0. So that crosses out as well, and I have negative 4 equals 5. Well, we didn't solve for x, so x cannot equal anything here. Because this right here says negative 4 equals 5, and that's not true. So we could say that's false. They don't equal each other. Then this is no solution. In letter D, can we clear a fraction? No. Can we distribute? Yes. So this 2 we can distribute because we have parentheses. So 10x plus 12, distribute, we get 10x plus 12. So I would subtract the 10, and again, 10 minus 10 makes 0, so I don't need that. That makes, like, it's just 0. You can't solve for x. And I bring down the 12 and the 12. Well, this is true, right? 12 does equal 12. So this would be many solutions. And remember, if you feel like I'm going too fast, you can always slow me down in the settings, or you can pause and go back and rewatch something. Okay, for letter E, can we clear a fraction? No. Can we distribute? Yes, twice. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute my 2. And then I'm going to distribute my 3. So now I need to subtract the 3x, and I get 7x minus 2 equals 33. And now we're back. We already subtracted the 3. Now we need to add the 2. So it's kind of like we did this twice, because we subtracted the 3, we added 2, and now we can divide. And x would be 35. I'm sorry, x would be 5. 35 divided by 7 is 5. Okay, f is really the same way. We have that distributive property, but this time you have a negative 3, so that really you really have to watch your signs here. So negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. 4 times x and 4 times negative 8 is negative 32. Okay, we can't combine anything on either side. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that 4x over. We're just going to ignore the bell. So when I add these, I get 10x, but they're both negative, so you keep the negative because you're adding. If I multiplied those, that would be a positive, but here we are adding the two terms. So then I need to subtract 18. And again, both are negative, so we're adding and keeping the negative. So that gives me negative 50. Last step is to divide by that negative 10. I squeezed it in there. And that would be a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and that would be 5. Okay, for letter G, we see, can we clear a fraction? No. Can we distribute? No. Can we combine like terms on the same side? No and no. So now we need to add or subtract. So the first thing I would do is I would get those x's together. So I'm going to subtract 2x. And that's going to give me 6x minus 5 equals the square root of 17. Then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So in the calculator, I am going to have to go ahead and do the square root of 17. So it gives me this decimal, but I have to add 5 to that. So I hit plus 5. And that gives me 9.123. So I'm going to go ahead and write down that number. I can put like ... here. So don't change your screen, and now just divide by 6. So I hit divide 6, and I get 1.520. Now it does say round to the nearest hundredth, so this is your hundredth. The 0 makes the 2 stay the same. So your answer is just 1.52. Now, for h, it's the same way. So here, I would add the 5x over. You want to get those x's together first, if you can. So that would give me 12x. Okay, now, I want to add the 13 before I punch stuff into the calculator. And I know that 12x is going to equal something. So I would do square root 42. That gives you this decimal, 6.48. You have to add 13 to that. And you get 19.48. ... Because it continues on. Then divide by 12. And we get 1.623. Now, the 3 would keep the 2 the same, and I would have x equals 1.62. Okay, now for the last page of day 4 notes. All of these are fraction problems, and I gave you plenty of examples to practice. I still want to go through the steps. So, can you clear a fraction? Absolutely you can. Let's zoom this in just a little bit. So if I look in letter I just have a denominator of 2. Since it's 2, that means all of the terms get multiplied by 2. Here, because 2 and this 2 are the same, they cancel out. And I'm left with x. And then I multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times 5 would be 10. I can't distribute. I can't combine like terms on the same side. Those are not like terms. But I can add or subtract. So I'm going to subtract my 2x to my 1x. And if it helps, put a 1 in front of there. Okay, so 1 minus 2 is negative 1x. Bring down your 6 and 10. So let's just do a two-step. So we're subtracting the 6, which gives us a positive 4. And you're dividing by negative 1. Okay, letter J. Here we have different denominators. So to get the common denominator, so the least common denominator, we can multiply the 3 and the 2. And that would give me 6. And that makes sense because 3 times what gets to 6? That would be 2. And 2 times what gets to 6? That would be 3. So they share the 6. Now, we can't cancel these out because they're not the same number. So what we do is we divide them. We say 6 divided by 3 is 2. So these go away, and I have 2x. I'm not canceling, I'm dividing them. Then I multiply and get 24. Can't cancel, so I divide them and get 3. And that'd be 3x plus 6 times 6 is 36. Now we can solve this by subtracting our x's first. So we would have minus 3x minus 3x. So this gives us negative 1x plus 24 equals 36. We subtract 24, and negative 1x equals 12. But we got to divide by negative 1. So we get x equals negative 12. In letter K, you have, again, not the same denominator. So 7 times 6 is 42. So in this case, I can't cancel, so I divide that, and I get 6. 42 divided by 7 is 6. 6 times x is 6x. Okay, 42 times 3, is that right? 42 times 3 is 126. 42 divided by 6 would be 7, so we have 7x. And then we have 42 times 2, and that'd be a negative 84. Okay, so we're going to get rid of these x's by subtracting them. So 6 minus 7 is negative 1x plus 126 equals negative 84. You need to subtract the 126, and negative 1x equals negative 84 minus 126 is a negative 210. And we know that we have to divide. So negative divided by a negative would be a positive, and that'd be 210. Okay. The next one, L, we have a common denominator of 3. So we just use that 3 and put it up here above all terms. Now this one's nice because the 3's do cancel, and I just have a 2x left over. I multiply. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. 3's cancel, and I have 6x. And 3 times 2 is 6. So I subtract the 6x, and 2 minus 6 is negative 4x minus 18 equals 6. I'm adding the 18 over, and I would have That would be 24. Divide by -4. And we would get -6. Okay, so for M and N, I really think that you should pause the video. You should figure out what goes on the top of each one of these and try to clear the fraction on your own and then check with me. So I'm just going to work these out, and that way you can just check your work when you are done. So 3 and 2 would make 6. Divide, we get 2. Multiply, divide, we get 3. And then be -42. Okay, so -6x So again, I'm just working it out so you can check your work with my work. I am going somewhat fast, so again, this is just for you to check. Okay, 4 times 3 makes 12. Divide, we get 3. Divide, we get 4. Okay, so now I get the x's together. Is 16x. Subtract 48. Make sure that since they're both negative, you're adding these together and keeping the negative. And then we divide by 16. And I believe we get a decimal for this one. Yep, so when you divide, you get -5.25, and the 5 is the last number, which can't be rounded, so that's it.